Alright, what's going on YouTube? Bring you another video, and this is the domination on infection using a man of war, but the gameplay is usually irrelevant. But what I want to talk about is Call of Duty 2016. A lot of people are speculating that it will be either Ghost 2 or Modern Warfare 4, but honestly, if you played the campaign, you should know that it will be Ghost 2. They forced a sequel pretty much. If you see the ending, it's really bad. Like, there should even be a second Ghost, but they're forcing another one this year, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Ghost 2. But mainly people have been asking me, am I gonna get it? And to be honest, I'm not too sure if I really want to. I don't know, Infinity Ward's track record hasn't been very well their last few games, so I'm not too sure if I really want to spend the money to even purchase this game. But I'm gonna get into some reasons why I'm not too sure about this Infinity Ward's next title. I'm gonna talk about the Modern Warfare series. It was they were pretty fun. Anybody who's played the Modern Warfare series, they'll tell you that it was fun, but there's always something in these games that throws the balance off. Either it makes the game less fun, or it just makes the game completely unbalanced. And mainly, I'm gonna talk about Modern Warfare 3. I loved Modern Warfare 3, but if they took out a couple of things and tweaked certain perks, I feel like it would have been the best Call of Duty. The portable radar is one thing that really gets on my nerves in that game. And what it did, it felt like, it made me feel like I had to use Assassin all the time. And that's what I don't like about COD games. I feel like there's crutch perks that if you use anything else or you deviate to any other perk, then you pretty much don't stand a chance. And with the portable radars everywhere, you can't really move because they always know where you are. So it doesn't even make the game that fun. Then you have Blind Eye and Assassin. Probably the worst thing that Infinity Ward's done, that you could combo both of those perks. It made stealth like probably the best thing in that game. It didn't matter if you were the best player at all. You can't see somebody who's in a corner and you know they're hiding. And Modern Warfare 2 was another one. That was a fun game too, but you know, that was a highlight of my middle school career. I was 13 when that game came out, and I used to play that game. I remember going home and I used to be the first thing on my mind just to play Modern Warfare 2. But you know, the lack of support in that game, the game was fun when things went your way, but when you had people using one-man army and danger close noob tubes, that was probably the worst experience I've ever had in a Call of Duty game. You have Commando, and you know, the list goes on and on. But then you had Call of Duty Ghosts in 2013, and that game, I don't know, that game didn't feel too inspired. Like, Infinity Ward usually puts like detail in their games, but I felt like this is the less detailed game that they've ever made. And I don't know what it is. Ever since Modern Warfare 3, the Infinity Ward CODs have been really lackluster. Like, the color palette, I don't know, it's like it's very dull and bland. It doesn't make the game look fun at all. Like, when you have the Treyarch games, all three Black Ops, they're colorful and you can see people fairly well. But ever since Modern Warfare 3, the people were very hard to see, and in Ghost is nearly impossible when you have the ghillie suits and the dark color palettes. When Modern Warfare 3 introduced Terminal, I never really noticed the difference until I went back into Modern Warfare 2. And the difference between the colors on Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3's Terminal is almost night and day. I don't know why that Terminal looks so dull, and I don't know, I feel like they never really tried ever since Modern Warfare 3 came out. Like, I don't know if it's the people who left Infinity Ward after Modern Warfare 2, if it's like they're the ones who really had the passion to make the game look good, but these games have been looking very bad. And another thing about the CODs from Infinity Ward is the cheapest things are usually in the Infinity Ward games, and it's just the play styles that people have in that game is what makes it really bad. When Ghost first came out, I really liked that game. I felt like that COD was probably one of the best until after, I say 2 weeks after the Christmas season passed. Oh man, it wasn't even like the same game anymore when everybody got their thermal LMGs and they figured out all the spots on the maps. If the game just became really slow. But that's the thing about Infinity Ward's Call of Duty games. They tend to have the most campers, at least to me, in which they have yet to adopt the score streak system that Sledgehammer and Treyarch has been using. And I'm not too sure why they haven't used it yet, because in the Black Ops games, you know, every COD's gonna have campers, but it feels like in the Black Ops and Advanced Warfare games, there's minimum amount of campers. Or even if there are campers, they don't really do too well. You know, they kill you, you go back to the spot, but they don't rain down streaks on everybody just by hiding in the corner. And that's one of the main problems with Infinity Ward games, is that you're rewarded for staying back and not really helping your team. So hopefully they adopt some sort of score streak system. Personally, I don't think they'll even try. I just feel like they'll just take the easy way out and keep using their system, because since they're the ones that introduced kill streaks in the first place, they're probably gonna feel like they're entitled to keep it as kill streaks instead of score streaks. But Infinity Ward, they don't really have the best weapon balance as well. Like, a lot of their weapons are really easy to use. Like Modern Warfare 2, I don't think there was a bad gun really. Like, even the F2000 was really good to me. Some people didn't like it, but I felt like once you knew the recoil pattern, you knew how to use the F2000. Mainly, I was a Battlefield player, so recoil was never really that much of a problem to me. But in Modern Warfare 2, every gun, you know, that's what made the game pretty fun. That you could use any gun that you want. You could run around and you have fun, and you didn't feel like you were being overwhelmed by another gun. But in Modern Warfare 3, I don't know what it was. I felt like I could never really use another weapon besides the ACR and the MP7. Like, I did like the SCAR and, you know, the other guns in the game, like the UMP, even the MP5 I like. But I felt like every time I tried to use them, I never really did that well, because the people who were using the ACR and the MP7 always had the highest advantage. Mainly because those guns had high fire rates. Damage wasn't completely high, but it was a pretty moderate damage for its fire rate. And recoil, it was pretty much non-existent. And I'm not too sure why they tend not to really change these weapons after, you know, people complain about them for months and months and they never really get touched after that. But mainly what I want to talk about is how repetitive Modern Warfare 3 was. I don't know if it was just me, but everybody used the MP7 and ACR. Like, the lobby felt the same all the time, and a lot of those Penta Moabs and Quad Moab videos, a lot of people used those weapons, and, you know, it wasn't very exciting to watch. And personally, if I was uploading back in those days, I would at least try to provide different content, because I don't know, it felt like it was so dull, and those weapons were just so overused. I wouldn't go as far to say that they were overpowered. They were really good weapons, but they were very overused. But that's just some of the things that really plague Infinity Ward CODs, mainly because, I don't know, I feel like they don't really try that much, and that they always have some sort of gimmick in the game that just makes their CODs not that fun. Like Call of Duty Ghost, I don't know, it's like ever since Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Ghost as well, they just never really bothered to make the game as fun as it was, or at least attempt to remedy certain things in the games. And that's another problem with Infinity Ward. They tend to handle situations that are not really that big on the list. They tend to handle other problems that people don't really complain about that much. So they don't really have the priorities straight when it comes to managing their game. So, will I purchase the next COD? Probably not. It depends on what I see from the reveal gameplays that we'll surely see in the coming months before the game's release. But if it's anything like what I saw in Advanced Warfare, I'm most likely not gonna purchase it at all. Mainly because what I saw from Advanced Warfare, I didn't really like it from the jump, so I never purchased the game. But let me know what you think in the comment section. Do you think Ghost 2 will be a fun game? Did they learn their lesson? Personally, I don't think so, but we'll just have to see in November when the game releases. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you around.